What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Yo, it's Bry-Fy coming live through your Wi-Fi. One-man show, but I'm feeling like a sci-fi. Comic books, video games, catching them all. Pokemon card stack, yeah, I'm ready to brawl. From Marvel to DC, I break it all down. Nifty nerd news, got the geeky rundown. Pop culture hits, movies and shows. I stay in the know while the fandom grows. So plug in, tune up, press play, let's ride. This is the Bry-Fy, baby, welcome to the vibe.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and we're switching things up. I've been workshopping some new intros to the podcast, and I think for the next couple of episodes, you're going to hear different versions of the podcast intro. Let me know what you like, and that's what's going to continue going forward. I don't know, I'm trying something new for 2025. I know we're halfway in, but who knows? Anyway, today is a very special episode. We are jumping into a time capsule and going back to Comicpalooza 2015 in an episode that I recorded back then. It's got some spliced in different sounds from what I did throughout the weekend back in 2015 at Comicpalooza, but I think it's fun to kind of look back and bring it back to the forefront. Something I kind of wanted to do. I don't do anything like this anymore, but kind of like one of my first Comic-Con experiences. I think 2014 was the first year I went to Comicpalooza, but 2015 was like when I really started to try to dive in and get really into it. So I'm excited for you guys to hear this episode. And like, I had a bunch of people on my live pod, which I might post the full thing unedited one day. Was so chaotic, but so much fun. Tons of people stopped by to chat and talk, which I love so much when that happens. And maybe I'll go back to that one year. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But of course, going forward, you guys know that I will be at Comicpalooza this year in 2025. And we'll be performing Saturday, June 21st at 1 p.m. at the Podcast Pavilion stage, doing Trash or Treasure Mythical Mothers Edition, where we decide if these mothers, and from pop culture or other forms of media, are trash or treasure. It's a fun thing. The crowd gets involved. We have a lot of fun with it. This year, I'm implementing a slideshow, so that way you get a better idea of like the pictures of the people. I mean, I posted pictures last time while we were doing this, but kind of just a little more professional setting, if you will. But don't forget, Comicpalooza this year is June 20th. Sorry, I almost forgot the date. June 20th through the 22nd at the lovely George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, Texas. Get your tickets now. I think weekend passes are $105. You can get VIP and like other speed passes for way more, depending on like what actor you want to get special access to and everything like that. And with the VIP passes, you get in early, you get access to certain areas before anyone else. So it is really worth checking out. But if you just want general admission and go and have a great time, tickets are $105 for adults. I can't remember what it was for kids, and that's for all weekend. So kind of a deal, man, especially when we consider it's like $60 or more per day if you buy the tickets individually. So get them for the weekend, have a great time with your family, get a hotel so you don't have to travel a lot, and you'll just be right there at the convention. Get ready for early access, jump ahead in a bunch of the lines, and have a lot of fun with that, man. But thank y'all so much for listening, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the throwback to Comicpalooza 2015. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast, and as always, I'm your wonderful host, Brian, and this week we got a little bit of a different show for you. As you guys probably
have seen on my Twitter and Facebook and every other social media that I get on, this past weekend, my wife and I and some friends went to Comicpalooza here in Houston, Texas from May 22nd through the 25th. Had tons of stuff that I did. I took quite a bit of audio while at the show. Had tons of fun. Even bought some prints from Janet Lee. Sorry, I spaced on the name. She was on a panel with me. You'll hear some of the audio from that panel, Diversity in Comics. So yeah, I was actually on a panel. That's kind of cool. I did do a live podcast on the con floor. You'll hear some of that audio. And then I did another panel with a bunch of podcasters, the Podcasting 103 panel, and that had like the Nerd Food, Trust Me I'm a Jedi, Rebel Radio. It had Comical Podcast, myself, the Metal Geeks podcast, and of course it had the TV famous Ming Chen and Mike. Wow, I just spaced on Mike's name. Zapsik. Wow, I feel dumb. You guys should probably stop listening to the show. But I do give away free digital comics throughout this episode, as with all my episodes, so you might want to stick around. But yeah, had tons of fun at the con. They had the entire George R. Brown Convention Center. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Houston's George R. Brown Convention Center, but it can fit comfortably 4 to 8 football fields. I mean, that's a big number, but I mean, it is huge, guys. I mean, they had over like 20 alleys of just vendors and artists, and then that's not even including the celebrities that they had there at the con. They had Chloe Bennett, who is Sky from Avengers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show. They had tons of people from the Gotham TV show. They had wrestlers, like my favorite Sting was there. I think Roddy Piper was there. Of course, Stan the Man Lee was there. Tons of people. You would just have to look it up. It's, oh my God, it was insane, guys. But had a blast, got totally exhausted. After the con, though, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but it made national news here in the States. I know I have some people that listen outside of the country, which, you know, shout out to you, Sean. Awesome. Boom. Twitter shout outs, right? But yeah, this past week and stuff, we've had tons of rain, guys. Houston was completely flooded. I actually live in a town or a city south of Houston, like a couple of minutes, called Pearland, Texas. And even parts of Pearland was flooded. I know some of my other podcast friends, their neighborhoods and towns were just completely underwater. I mean, basically Houston went from like a couple of years ago being like Mad Max, and now it's like fucking Waterworld. It's insane, guys. But it looks like we've got most of the bad weather is behind us or past us now, whatever. So things are looking good. Hopefully the ground just soaks it all up and we turn into a beautiful green city because of all of it. I know. But yeah, I'm safe. It seems like most of my friends, family, everyone got out pretty much unscathed. Some cool photos, though. So if you just look up Houston Floods 2015, I'm sure you're going to find some really cool pictures. Hell, there's a highway that goes north and south of Houston called Highway 288. There were complete sections of that highway that were just totally underwater. It was insane. It looked like just a river going through Houston because of how much water. It's just insane, the amounts of water that I don't know. There's no words for it. It's crazy. But you know what? Enough about all that. Let's just get into the audio that I have. Up first, the audio that you're going to hear is it's not the complete thing. I didn't post complete audio of anything. I just kind of did like clips here and there. So you might hear some weird cuts in these audios. So forgive me for that. Also, the sound quality might not always be there. It was hard to find a good place from a microphone to pick up everything because I only have one mic. And then the last one that I did actually off my phone. So that's going to sound even different than my other 2 live recordings that I did. But up first is the Diversity in Comics panel that had myself, Meredith Nudo, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but we mentioned her name, I believe, in the second audio. I think it's Amanda something, I don't know. And then Janet Lee was also on that. It was really fun. We had a few laughs, and we talked a lot about the industry and definitely a lot about comics featuring diverse characters. And so here's that audio for you now.
Well, the benefit of going last is I can just piggyback off of everything.
You're going to start first next time. There you go.
But no, I mean, you guys make a good point. You can't really criticize the indie one too hard because that's where you see a lot of more diverse stories. And so typically these kind of conversations come back to the big two, the Marvel and DC. And the way I've always looked at it since getting into comics, and I've only been in the comics maybe 3 to 4 years, so it's like I'm coming in right at the big change. So it feels great. It feels like I don't have a lack of any new stories. And so it feels like there's just some big clubhouse where, the boys are playing, but now the parents, the people are starting to come together and say, hey, you need to let everyone else come have fun in the clubhouse. And that's when, we got stories I'm sure you guys have heard of Miss Marvel coming out. It was a great story. She's not an orphan. She's got a family.
Right.
Her religion plays a big part in what's happening. It's a very interesting character to me. And I talk about her a lot on my podcast. It should be called just the Miss Marvel podcast. But it's like, the only way I can describe it is how people described to me reading Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man for the first time. It's just something that seems so different than what was being put out there. And then, of course, seeing that, you see them make other attempts. Marvel did the Ghost Rider stuff with Robbie Reyes. I don't think it was a bad attempt. It wasn't their best attempt, but you're seeing that more attempts coming out of Marvel and DC.
Right.
And one of my favorites coming out of DC right now is Gotham Academy. Mm-hmm. And it's a fun Gotham story, but it doesn't feature Batman. Now he's in there, which I'll let that slide, but it's a Gotham story that doesn't feature Batman, which is always nice to see. And sorry if you guys like Batman. Robin over there. But no, and just from this short period of time that I've been reading and enjoying comics, you're seeing a change. You're seeing the big two make more changes to characters, more changes to status quos, and it's nice. It's good to see that. Of course, when you look at indie comics, I mean...
Well, Marvel's had to recognize that the new female Thor is actually outselling man Thor.
Yeah.
That was... they've had a few, and I think she's going to be sticking around at least for a while longer. As well, because of
she's very sick.
It's like she's really sick right now.
Well,
Sorry. I don't know if anyone's been reading it, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, I know. We're going to have a chat later.
As long as Chibi Ronan gets to go.
Yeah,
I think so basically you're advocating just writing with compassion, writing with heart.
Yeah, write a person. Write a human being. Draw a human being. Don't, at the end of the day, all the rest of these things are just trappings off of it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And if you get as close as you can to that, you're going to be, you're not... It's going to be a forgivable sin, the things that you get wrong. And then you listen to where you got it wrong. Step 1 is to write the best you can. Step 2 is to fix the mistakes. When somebody comes that obviously has more experience than you do and says, hey, this is really wrong.
I think fix the mistakes is definitely something that people need to work on.
Fix the mistakes.
Yeah.
I think you get to step 1 fairly easily, and you don't necessarily continue on to step 2.
Oh, yeah. Because I have seen some reactions where people get feedback. And I mean like actual genuinely good feedback, not just people trolling for the sake of trolling. And their reaction is to treat them like they're trolls, or to get really angry and just be like, well, shut up, I don't have to do anything. And I feel like being open, if you are not necessarily writing about a demographic you belong to, make sure to listen to the critique. Listening is one of the most crucial things you can do.
Agreed. Yes.
2 rules: take risks and listen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they need to do.
There you go. That's the whole panel right there. Done. That's
Okay.
it.
Done. Good job. Congratulations. I want to have that quoted and printed up on a poster and hung up in every single publisher that I may or may not work for.
Yeah, so that was the panel right there. Hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet. I did kind of make a Thor joke in a little bit. So, spoilers if you're actually following the storyline and haven't gotten there yet, but it turns out the female Thor is actually Jane Foster, and currently she has cancer, and it's pretty bad. In fact, in the issue where they reveal it's her, she looks pretty rough, like she don't have much longer to live. So I don't know. We had a good laugh about that, and people were like, "Oh crap!" But it was fun. Like, it was great. But you know what? Before we get into the next clip, I got a free digital code for you. And you know what? I have a bunch of Deadpool codes that I've been just sitting on, waiting to give away. It's Deadpool issue 42 through the final issue of Deadpool issue 45 of Jerry Duggan's run, or issue 250 if you accumulate all the Deadpools that have come out. So let's go ahead and give away those codes, and this will just be my big Deadpool giveaway in honor of Comicpalooza. So go to marvel.com/redeem and enter the following code now. TMAAUQJMZDU3, and enter that code. You're going to get Deadpool issue number 42. But up next, guys, is audio clips from the live podcast that I did on the Comicpalooza floor. Meredith Nudo stopped by, friends of the podcast, Electra and Dwayne stopped by, and then someone from the War podcast or something was on there for a little bit, and you'll hear his voice too. Had a lot of fun, but man, my voice was tired after doing all that. I've never just sat there and pretty much yelled at people for an hour to listen to me and everything. But here's that audio clip now.
Hey everybody, this is the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host Brian, and we are recording live at Comicpalooza. Hey everyone! Nothing? Yeah! Get excited! Woo! And then Miguel's leaving. I don't know what's his problem. Come say hi real quick before you leave.
Hey everybody, it's Lord Horstacles here. Miguel Garza hanging out with Mini Miguel, Mr. Bry-Fy.
Yeah, that's my new thing that I put in front of all my episodes. You're my celebrity guest. That's what it is. I got a couple of people here today that are going to talk to me. Hopefully we got some people that are going to come listen. And cool thing, if you sign up, totally free, you just put your name and email. I give you a raffle ticket. I'm giving away comics. I have an Air Hogs helicopter I'm giving away. Who doesn't like motion control helicopters? I'm giving away free stuff. I'm trying to give away free stuff. But you got to come and say hi to me at least. Hey, I got raffle tickets. Yeah? Yeah. So, who are you guys? I don't know who you are. Why don't you say hi? You're on the Bry-Fy podcast.
Hi.
Hi. So, you guys enjoying the con so far?
Oh, yeah. Every year.
Every year? How many years have you been going to this?
I think this is
4. Dang. It's gotten really big. This year is huge.
Yeah, the first year we came, there were... No, because the first year, I don't think we counted the first year. The first year we came, this year 4 or 5. The first year we came, there was 2 or 3 bays, and then upstairs.
Yeah.
And now it's
The entire thing. I know. I had to do a panel with Meredith over here.
Meredith.
Had to, and I went to go get my tickets, which I thought were at the registration, but it turns out they're at will call, so I had to run all the way back there. It turns out her panel's all the way back on registration side, and so basically I ran the length of like 3 football fields, and so it's amazing. Thank you. Now Meredith, come stop, come say hi, come.
Oh, good. I can rest my...
You can finally come rest, chit chat with me. It's crazy. Like, I didn't think I would be doing this today. It's kind of weird.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
I always wanted to say that to you, and now I finally can.
You get to. Well, we were in a panel yesterday together, which was really neat.
No, on air I wanted to do the spaced. Hello, Brian.
Oh.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, hello, Brian.
Where's Chibi Ronin?
Oh.
I mean, it's not a necessity, but I feel like I can't fully get into my Bry-Fy character. I actually keep a picture of Chibi Ronin on my desk, and I just talk mess to him the whole time.
I don't understand why people love Chibi Ronin as much as they do.
I don't know. It's probably because he doesn't talk, unlike a lot of members of your podcast.
Maybe.
But I guess that, I know, I'm rude and everything. But yeah, we did a panel yesterday. It was about diversity in comics. We had Janet Lee, right? And who was, I can't remember the other one.
Amanda Garrett from Overtime Comics.
Okay, and it was really good. They were all very smart and well-versed in diversity. And I was there, and I made a few jokes, which made me happy.
You were great.
Yay.
You also talked about Miss Marvel a lot.
Well, like I said, the Bry-Fy podcast can be substituted for the Miss Marvel podcast, so...
And an audience member actually asked you.
Yeah, they did. They told me to change my name, and unfortunately, I've put in at least $100 into this and branding myself, so I kind of can't change now. It's just a little too far. I've gone too far. I've done too much. But no, it was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun, and I was really nervous at first because like I was shaking. I don't know if anyone saw that because I don't talk in front of people like this where there's people and they can see me and I'm talking. That's weird to me. That's making me feel strange. But it helps that none of them are looking at me and they're just walking by and no one's saying hi.
Well, to be fair, everyone's looking at Chibi Ronan.
Oh yeah, they're not looking at my sign or anything. It's
like,
Chibi Ronan.
how can anything be so terrible?
No. He's so cute, but he has the power to destroy planets.
No, he doesn't. Half the reason why he doesn't post on his Facebook page is because his parents take social media away from him because he's whiny.
Yeah, he's a little whiny.
Did we ever actually tell you that Chibi?
Wherever you want to sit, wherever you want to chill.
Oh, right, there we go.
So if anyone's wondering, I got the awesome Jason here with me from the
Warpod
podcast. And just taking photos, so I'm going to give a thumbs up real quick. Yeah! So tell me a little bit. I don't think I've really listened to you all that much, so
all right,
what's it about?
Warpod is a production of Warlocks, previously of Warlocks Games and Beer. We tried to do a Kickstarter to start up another geek bar here. Neil's came to be shortly after we started doing our Kickstarter, and ours failed because I just don't think there's enough people in the area who want a geek bar / microbrewery.
It's tough. There's a lot of geeks here in Houston, so you think it'd be a lot easier, but that kind of sucks. But you got to try. If you don't try, nothing's going to come out of it.
Yeah, we're really happy of the attempt we put together. We're glad that we went out there and did that, and we can now say we put together a Kickstarter, even if it wasn't a successful one. We got some experience from that. That's good.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Hey, everyone, how's it going? You guys are chilling. Oh my God, you brought it. Oh, sweet. I want you guys to come and talk now. I got so many people. I'm surprised so many people are coming to my podcast.
Is his fro a hamburger?
No, actually...
I'm sorry, cheeseburger.
Yeah, no, actually, that's his hat. It's part of his uniform at work. He works at a barbecue restaurant called the Sow and Cow. And originally, when I first wrote the script, he was fired on page 3. And when I first saw the concepts for Rob the Monkey, that hat was just absolutely amazing. And I was like, I've got to market that. He doesn't get fired at all.
The artwork in there.
That's great. It looks great.
Yeah, it's called Crafty Monkey, and it's written by Dwayne Martin and drawn by Dwayne Hallman.
Other way around, actually.
Well, see, look, I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to go far in No, I was kidding. Writer first, artist.
Is it usually that way?
No, I don't know. I'm just messing with you.
That'd be some actually handy information to know, right?
No, but okay.
We don't know any more than you know. We're just spouting shit.
Yeah. So I know you're Dwayne, but I don't know your last name. Holman. Okay, so we have Dwayne Holman here, and we have Elettra. That's just cool enough as it goes, right? But yes, they from Soulgate Studios, and they have the coolest badges in the world. Holy crap! Mine is all right. I got Ninja Turtles.
I'm really cool.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I guess it's pretty stoked.
Mine's tear-resistant paper.
That's pretty awesome. Meredith, do you have anything?
I have a press badge.
You have a press badge? So, we're cool. Yeah, press. Yeah.
Press box. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like her. No. I know. I love you. You're my favorite person.
I love you too.
Oh, Muffin.
I thought Chibi Ronan was your favorite person.
No, this is my second favorite person now.
He's not really a person though. He's an idiot. Chibi Ronan. You guys know who Chibi Ronan?
We know Alba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at least somebody that's not.
So,
okay.
people get our references. Yay!
No, I would have been worried if it was not somebody that knew one of us that knew one of us.
So how's the con going for y'all?
Busy.
Yeah, right?
It's been shockingly busy. Like yesterday, Fridays are always slow. We were pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here Friday. I spent most of my time up there, hanging out in the podcast room and just kind of people watching. But man, tons of people. But that's good though. That's great that you guys are getting a lot of traffic, and especially where are you guys located at?
Opposite end, 1936.
1936.
So one of the last rows before the celebrities.
Oh, awesome. Well, because that makes sense. You guys are close to celebrities because you're like celebrities.
I am a celebrity, actually.
You were on the Bry-Fy podcast, so you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's the only way that matters.
That's pretty awesome. Oh, man, I don't even know. I'm supposed to fill an hour worth of time, but how do you do that? How do you talk about...
You dance for us, bitch.
It's like art. It's like art. You just keep producing art. You just keep talking.
Right. Dang, I don't even know what to do with this. I feel like I should either frame it or like give it to people. Like,
give it to people. Like hey,
like we could raffle
give
it.
away. You don't want one. That's fine. That's all right.
No,
Cool.
I didn't know.
If
Like,
that's how you feel. Just say
well,
that.
I didn't want to just assume it was for me.
I'm
Like,
just
this is my copy right here. It makes sense. It's signed. It should be for me.
Yeah, no, you can raffle it off too. We'll get you one.
Oh,
Another one if you want to give away.
Man, but you guys, I don't want y'all to have to walk all the way back there and then walk all the way back. So what I'll do is I'll think about it. No, I'll send someone there and I'll start telling people like, hey, go over there, tell them you won something, and just take whatever you want. No, just take things.
Yeah,
This would be great.
Bry-Fy, we got another one of those guys coming across.
Who's the coolest cosplayer that's come to your booth so far?
Me.
Makes sense. Like, I love your outfit right now. I mean, he doesn't have just one exhibitor badge. He has two
I do.
exhibitor
I'm
badges.
double awesome. No, there was a little predator, like a little baby predator. It was
that's
awesome.
sweet.
So
That's adorable.
The kids' costumes seem to be a little better.
Right? I think it's because, like, with all school projects, their parents help them out a little bit. And so, like, they just lit, like, the parents are like, well, look, my body just doesn't look good in this, but my kid does, so let's just...
So are we like extending this to say that this is a symptom of helicopter parenting? That I will just do your costume for you. I think you'll screw it up if you do it yourself, so I'm going to do it for you.
Yeah.
works for me.
We have an imaginary drinking game going on right now.
Oh, yeah?
We're taking a shot every time we see a Harley Quinn.
Oh, my God. You're probably, like, imaginary, like, yeah.
So have you gotten hammered yet?
Right now.
But yesterday, probably like right after Doors closed, we saw the best one, and it was like a little girl.
Oh, that's cute. It's tough, man. Like, you want to like the adult ones, but the kids ones are just so
I
amazing.
was just talking about that earlier, that I actually really like seeing all the little cosplay kids because they're so happy
They are.
and so enthusiastic about being here. And whenever you tell them that their costumes look great, they're always like so
They
excited.
are.
Like, there was a little girl dressed up as Tentacle Kitty.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
squealed.
We heard,
Yeah.
stopped by their booth and they told us about it.
Yeah, I was like, you're so cute. Every time you compliment her, she asks you to take your picture with her. So she actually has a collection on her phone of her with everybody that told her that she was cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it is so precious.
That's cool to like see the reverse because like everybody's like, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then she's asking. That's really cool.
Yeah,
It's nice.
very cute.
I think one of the best ones I saw is the kids stayed in character the entire time. It was actually last year at Comicpalooza. There was a little Hellraiser.
Yes. Oh, my God.
And he was
Yeah. Yeah, no, he looked exactly... Yeah, you can say fuck him, whatever.
He was beeping creepy.
Like, no, it was insane. And, like, yeah, we saw him. We were just eating food, and he's, like, getting, like, french fries from his mom. But then someone would be like, Hellraiser, and he'd just be like stick his little claw up, like, mid-french fry, just like, yeah. It was, like, the
I
most...
had a picture of him, like taking the
Yeah.
side of my neck, and that was, like, my profile for, like, 6 months because it was just
Dude.
so awesome.
I wonder if he's here this year. He's got to be.
I actually think that's who the Predator was.
Yeah?
Because the dad looked really familiar.
And the kid was really good.
It makes it. That's how I recognize a lot of people now. It's not the cosplayers themselves; it's the people who like follow them around. There was a girl. She's a blogger dressed up as Daphne yesterday. This year, man, shut up. No, she's dressed up, I think, as like a Black Cat today. But I only recognized her because her husband or boyfriend's with her, and I was like, I remember that guy because he has like wicked cool like French slicked back hair and like looks like he's like Quicksilver in real life. Like I was like, oh, that's them. I know them now. But no, man, it's cool. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Definitely.
Do you even have people watching your booth right now?
No, we actually kind of left it to the wolves.
Just honor system, like have a
yeah.
little hat, like
Wolves
put money.
are actually pretty responsible animals. So.
There's a sign that says, if you're going to steal from us, let us know.
Yeah.
Leave the chain to the counter.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't supposed to be here today, so
You were?
no. I'm just trying to make as many Clerks references as we can.
Okay.
See, dude, if you steal from us, let us know. It's okay, you know. Oh, thank you.
At least it wasn't a
Thank you.
snowball. That's cool.
I mean, we can talk about snowballing all we want, but I don't think parents are going to want their kids to stop by
Right.
because that would be a little strange.
That's actually a really good good topic actually.
I feel like we're going to segue right off the cliff here.
All right,
hold
let's
on.
just leave now.
So we've had several parents stop by, and they're actually like some of them are actually heated because our stuff is about PG-13. You know, 6th grade and above, kind of. Because I mean, I remember cussing in 6th grade. I try to keep it as clean as I can when I'm writing it. You know,
no beeps and beeps. So,
this
but,
upside down stuff.
radio edit. But I try to keep it as clean as I can. But Crafty Monkey is kind of like Family Guy in my eyes. Like I try to keep him. But
I got things that I want to give away.
Everybody was like, what's the rating of the comics? And we're like, PG-13, blah blah. And I was like, depends on.
So we're actively telling
Yeah,
people that.
because I don't want somebody coming by, and be like, you sold my kid this comic, and I'm not happy with it because there's tits and ass. I don't know. Sorry, beeps and beeps.
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, no. I was like, but I'm teaching them vocabulary words,
Yes.
via the military.
View this as a learning experience, not as something awful.
So we've actually got a project in the works that we've been talking about for a while now, and it's finally just getting up off the ground. And it's a children's book series, and we're going to have a graphic novel that we're going to do in just a one-shot series with the graphic novel. There will be a couple of the kids' books, but the graphic novel is going to be a darker version of somewhere in the same realm as the kids' books. And the kids' books come with stuffed animal and blah, blah, blah of one of the characters. And so you buy that for your kids, because I have kids. I know you have kids. I saw them playing in the background. And
that was my wife, but same thing.
Oh, that was your wife? I didn't know who it was.
She's a kid.
We're all
but
kids in heart.
Well, if it makes you feel better, she's pregnant, so that means she's going to have a kid.
There was a kid involved.
Exactly.
There we go. So, anyway, so you read it, you get the kid's book. And,
ignore him. That's my best friend.
Oh, hi. My best friend. So,
You're my only friend. Everyone here is all my only friends. That's what I
love you too.
Yay!
Person I just met.
But yeah,
it's a kid's book. They get the doll, they get the book, they read them, they read the little stories, this little whatever morals and such, and then a year later, or when you feel the kids ready, you give them the graphic novel, and it's a darker story, and it's more intense, and it's got that nostalgia feeling. And the kids' books and the graphic novel are going to be written in an age-appropriate level, but also with enough humor that the kid's not bored and the parent's not bored. I want it to be an interactive thing. I think that's something
you build them up to the Family Guy. That's what you do.
Yeah. Well, no.
Concept, but it's something that they can grow up with.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Like Archie,
Yeah. Well, no, Archie. I'm been telling some more mature stories.
But the only people that have grown up with Archie
are dead. No.
Well, I mean, but it was like going on for like 50 years by the time we came along.
I know, right?
It's forever. So,
what do you think? Since we're talking about Archie, and because I have to talk about things, what do you guys think about the reboot that's about to happen?
Is it Archie in space or like Archie?
I don't know. I think it's just
2YK or
a 2015 version of Archie with our problems and our clothing.
It's gonna be like a hipster Archie.
I'm down with that. I hope
is the first cover gonna be everyone taking selfies?
I don't know. The cover art is done by Fiona Staples that I've seen, like some of her stuff, and she's drawing the insides of the first story arc. So I'm already hooked. I was like, I want to see this because I love her art.
Yeah, Mark Waid is writing it.
Yeah, Mark Waid's writing it, so that's wow.
My biggest question is always with reboots is how are they going to honor the original? How are they going to maintain the roots while keeping it new and fresh and hip? As bad as we want to use that word.
Hip is my favorite word.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Michael Bay doing Archie because it's just explosions and Optimus Prime. And,
I'm fine with that. That actually sounds great.
Well,
Archie Prime,
Archie you say Optimus Prime, hasn't Archie had several crossovers? Didn't Obama show up once or something?
That may have been.
The Punisher, Predator.
We're in Archie.
Spider-Man shows up for everything.
Fight Predator or something.
Yeah. Sharknado's showing up too.
Yeah, they're having Sharknado Archie.
I haven't read Predator, but I heard it's great.
I don't even know. How can Archie fighting Predator? What does he use?
It's also Alex DeCampi.
Kills him with kindness.
Well, the second one was in the city. Nobody really remembers the second one, but the second one was in the city. And then they had that other movie around the same time where the guy wore the glasses and he could see the aliens and stuff like that. It wasn't Predator, but it was kind of the same.
Okay, I was I don't remember this at all.
The second one had the guy from Lethal Weapon. Danny Glover was in it.
That's right, he was in it.
It was like
weird.
he was a cop or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like in every movie he's in, he kind of plays like a cop.
Yeah, you know.
And he's too old for this shit,
And
like
Mel
all the
Gibson is
time.
his partner or
I don't know.
Not Royal Tenenbaums.
No. What did he do in that? I don't remember.
He was Royal Tenenbaums' ex-wife's new lover.
All right, guys, and that was the sound clip to my live podcast that I did on the Comicpalooza floor. As you could probably hear in the background, there's tons of people walking by it, tons of people just kind of chit-chatting or whatever. Some people came up, talked to me, gave away all of these free comics that I had, like physical comics, not digital codes this time. And it was tons of fun. Had a blast. Gave away an Air Hogs helicopter. So, guys, you know, if you know I'm going out to a con, just know I'm probably going to bring free stuff with me, and I'll probably give it away, guys. I mean, hell, I bought a whole roll of raffle tickets, and I plan on using that roll up before the year is over. So I need more people to come, take some raffle tickets, and win some free stuff. I don't know. Maybe next time I'll just do one comic at a time, because I was giving away bundles of like 5 and 10 comics. It was pretty ridiculous, and those people, I don't know if they realize it, but they walked away with some pretty good stuff and some high dollar stuff. But anyway, let's give you guys some high dollar stuff all over the interwebs. This is going to be to Deadpool issue number 43. So go to marvel.com/redeem and enter the following code: TMAADM4BWH5L. Enter the code first and get to read Deadpool issue number 43. And the last clip that I have for you guys today is going to be from the podcasting panel that we did. Like I mentioned, there's tons of podcasts from here in the Houston area, plus Mike and Ming from the Comic Book Men TV show, also famous for their I Sell Comics podcast, and they've also made appearances on the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast, which features Brian Johnson, Brian Quinn, and Walt Flanagan. Very funny stuff. So if you're ever interested in any of those podcasts, go check them out. But here's that audio clip now. You'll hear me, you'll hear Justin a lot, because he is very informative and a very good person to listen to. In fact, you should go listen to his podcast, of course, at Comical Podcast, or his single show, which is the JIC Pod, or JIC Pod, which kind of sounds like something bad. I don't know. But yeah, here's that sound clip for you.
So we start off with one guy doing one thing with his Guitar Hero plugin. How have you seen your podcast grow? I'm looking around. I'm blinded by the RGB lights over here. We got a guy on camera for some reason. So we got microphones. How have you seen it grow, and how can you control the growth without going bankrupt?
We started real small. You know, we were big fans of Mike and Ming, big fans of Brian Johnson and Tell 'em Steve Dave, and listening to those shows week in and week out of something I really wanted to do. He had no interest in it. It took a lot of pushing and prodding to get him to want to come and talk in front of a microphone, but blackmail. Once he tried it, he fell in love with it.
Weekly.
And what we did initially is we went and we bought just a basically startup box, a podcasting startup box. It's an audio box USB from PreSonus. It's like a little 2-channel mixer with a USB plug into your laptop, a pair of headphones, and one microphone that is omnidirectional. And we just sat in front of it and talked initially. We did that, and our first few episodes were not the best sound quality, but they were pretty funny. I mean, it took us a while to get the groove going and kind of figure out what we were doing. But we got on New and Noteworthy, like I said, and we got, 150 listeners right off the bat. Some of those people have stuck around the entire time. One of those guys is so loyal, he fell in love with a character that Miguel created and draws a weekly comic strip based on a character that we created in the thing. And I'm sure some of you who listen may have actually seen the Horse Minions comic. It's pretty funny if you've never checked it out. But word of mouth. I mean, that's what it is. Building these relationships with all these other podcasters. You go on their shows, you go on other people's shows, you meet people on Reddit, you meet people on podcasting forums, you meet people on the podcasting groups on Facebook. You get invited to go on other people's shows, you do it. You never say no. That's one of the things you have to do, is never say no, and you have to never be afraid to go out there and ask people to help support you or to come on your show.
So how do you interact with your listeners? Because the giveaways is one thing, that's the thing. How do you keep them and then interact with them? You want them to be rabid and to spread the word. So how do you interact with them?
Very recently, we just started doing, I'd say within the past month or two, we took to Twitter and we started posting. We did a black and white shot of the couch and our 2 microphones, and we kind of used that as a staple image. So we'll hit Twitter an hour, maybe 30 minutes before, and we'll say, hey, we're about to record another another podcast. Send your questions, comments, photos, whatever.
No photos. No.
We kind of do the same thing, but we use this new thing called Periscope, which is also on Twitter, and people can physically see us while we're recording. Yeah.
And that actually, with you guys, that draws?
Yeah, believe it or not, we didn't think we would get anything, and then before we go, we had up to almost 100 people watching at one point.
Then you gotta put clothes on.
Anyone periscoping right now? See, you're missing out, people. I'm surprised you're not. You're like the king of Periscope. You and Richie once.
Sounds like a dirty sex move. Let's go
I
Periscope.
have to admit, I've watched Ming drive around a few times.
I've done it in real time, and it's equally thrilling.
Yesterday, he was periscoping in the show, so.
And so it goes to show you, periscoping is really like a thing of the future, and I really think it's going to take off a lot more.
I think people were waiting for that Meerkat Periscope fight to Xbox,
I think Periscope won.
Yeah, no, it has. It told you last month. A lot of us are just regular folks who aren't very social savvy.
We want to try it eventually.
Yes. What is the worst bit of advice that you've gotten when you started podcasting?
The worst advice I ever got came from myself, and it was to worry a lot about what I was going to say every time and how I was going to protect myself. Just chill out and have fun.
Can't worry about that. Yeah, we have an episode 00 that we've never shared with the world. But we would go back. I went and listened to it recently, and you can tell we were both nervous. And even though there was no audience,
We were trying to come up with a first segment to do for our show, and a guy at the comic shop who we're friends with, who's pretty funny, recommended that we do act out a comic book, do like comic book theater kind of thing. So episode 1 of our show, there's a really horrible acting out of Harley Quinn. We picked an all-female cast, so he did Harley Quinn and I did Poison Ivy. And of course we tried to make the voices match. It was awful.
Was there cosplay? $12 for that.
we did yesterday that you paid for porn, so.
Wouldn't be the worst $12 I've ever spent.
Throw that up on iTunes for $1.99. For someone who's just starting out and they have an idea, because I know some of you have stores and you have things that you can sell, how's the best way to monetize it? I know you guys are doing that.
We're on Kevin's Smodcast network, so he's the one who worries more about that than we do. We just try to put out content, and content that people will vomit after they listen to. So that's...
So once again, find yourself on Kevin Smith.
That's why we're all here.
Well, it's definitely possible to get money from your show. Don't think it's not, but it shouldn't be your primary focus. Your primary focus should be putting out a great show every week and doing it consistently. We got lucky a little bit because we built our Twitter following really quickly. We made it really important to get on social media and promote the hell out of ourselves. Got a really decent Twitter following, and then approached some smaller companies about supporting us. One of those was Tweaked Audio, a company that sells headphones, which works great with the whole podcasting idea. So when we partnered with Tweaked and we started promoting them on our show, we said anybody that buys anything, we're going to do a special bonus episode that's only available for you guys. And so what we did for months is I cut everything out of the show that was a blooper, just everything that was horrible, everything that was too bad that he said.
It's always stuff I said.
The main shows all made it, but there was a bunch of stuff that was just off the beaten path, like way too raunchy for the normal show or whatever. Ended up on the sidelines, and then we recorded a play-by-play thing of the bloopers and introduced each clip and released that to our fans, and it's one of the funniest things we've ever done because it's just so horrible.
We have no lines.
Yeah, but I mean, we made decent money. I mean, all the studio equipment we have now, we have 2 laptops, we have good Shure microphones and a mixer and all that kind of stuff. We've come a long way from just doing the buy a box podcasting kit, and all of that was paid for entirely by our audience.
How do you avoid, because I've never had it happen. I've done hundreds of episodes. I've never had a major crash, but all I hear about online is, right film interview, it cracked out on me. What have you done as far as backups or once you get all that stuff so you make sure you have an episode to put up?
Well, when we're recording, we do it through we have 2 laptops. So we use one for Skype only and one to record. That's what a Mix Minus setup with the mixer is. So we'll record on the laptop, but we also record to a Tascam, something like this. We have a DRO5 that we just run the mixer straight into, so we have a redundant recording just in case something fails. It's easy. It's the best way to do it. It was something that I learned after a couple of failed ones where things did go wrong. And sometimes stuff just goes wrong. There's nothing you can do about it. And you can't blame yourself too much. We did an interview with somebody that talked on a cell phone, and it sounded horrible. And I spent 14 hours trying to fix his audio enough so that people could hear it. And the episode still came out sounding like shit. And there was just nothing I could do about it. It's just the way it is. I mean, mistakes are going to happen. It's a trial and error kind of hobby. The more you work at it, the better you'll get. And, always be willing to ask people for help, because most of us have gone through one kind of fiasco or another.
You listen to any podcast. I listen to Nerdist regularly, and they have a couple that they had to can because the sound quality was horrible after the fact.
I've tossed a couple myself. It's one of those where if it doesn't sound good, it's my name on the show. So as a guest, I don't want to be. I've been guests where they put up, it sounded awful. And you wonder why. It's just they feel the need to get content out. So how many of you have pulled multiple episodes? So we know there's a 00 out there somewhere, Jamie.
I've pulled plenty of episodes. Doing a one-man show, it gets really awkward sometimes when you're just in a room talking to yourself, and I've had episodes that just sound completely awful, like just the worst stuff. Like I even look at myself like, I can't even believe I said that. Was I drunk, high? Like what happened?
Oh, that happens a lot.
I think it's some of the funniest stuff you put out.
We'll see. My question specifically for you then is, how do you know that this one is not good? Because if you have a situation like where he's like, oh, my voice sucks. I've got hundreds of episodes. I think my voice sucks in all of them, but I just keep going. I let other people tell me it sucks. When they say it sucks, then maybe it might be. But how do you figure out as a one man?
I'm married, so no.
We have no problem telling him.
Oh, he's gonna be a dad. That's not funny.
And also, I'm very hard on myself too. Like I strive for consistent and perfection. And then, like we've talked about, for a good show, you need to be really consistent. And what helps me is, and just learning through this process is, I come up almost with like a script, but a more of a detailed outline. That way, it cuts out the ums, it cuts out my stuttering, it cuts out like me just kind of like, okay, let's talk about this. Like it helps segue things. It helps get a smoother show. And I come across problems too. And now I bust out my trusty phone, and I've recorded plenty of episodes in my car, just real quick, trying to get something out that way. And for some reason, I do really well in the car. I guess it's just because I'm trying not to die while driving. I mean, don't record and drive. Park. That's what I meant to say. But
you should do the Drive Bry podcast.
The Drive Bry, and then it's the Bry-Fy podcast.
Only one episode.
Yeah.
Like a new show in the works for you.
Yeah.
You in your car,
That's
in his car.
Driving with Bry.
Well, I think I can branch out to like 8 different episodes. That's the beauty of Bry. It rhymes with a lot of stuff. I've been called Bry-Fy a lot, so I think I'm going to start frying food while I like podcast.
Well, I guess we can announce it now. These guys and Justin, we just got a show on Newsfix, which it's on their online website version. They did a weird story on like TV culture and podcasting on me a few weeks ago. They offered me to do a show. So we have a new show that just started Saturday called Adventures in Geekery. And we've been recording a lot of stuff for that this weekend, especially today. We had Mike on there. It's sure to live on that show. We'll have other guests and stuff come on, but it's like, you can only do so much in a 4-minute span of time, If you're like an hour.
We're on TV.
You guys are on TV all the time. Your production values are slightly higher than
I'm not watching.
How is that?
Extremely higher.
How is that transition when you know that you've been talking all this time and now there's a mic on you? Has that been something that you have to do, or you just don't care?
That was a long time ago, and I mean, you adjust really, really quickly. You know not to pick your nose. And but the trick was, and Mick will back me up on this, was turning off the microphone when you're like talking about the AMC bigwigs or jackass. And they're taking the lead, like and it's like, you're okay, Garogan.
Yeah, we call that Robert Durst syndrome. Yes. Well, we've only got a couple minutes left. I've got 2 minutes left. Real quick, I want each one of you to go down the line real quick, 30 seconds apiece. What has podcasting done for you personally? Not necessarily professionally, but personally.
I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, friends, everyone up here I've gotten to meet. Now I got faces, which is great. It's confidence. I feel more confident talking to people now. Like it's really helped in that sense.
just doing a podcast.
You touched on the important thing of friends. I've made a lot of friends just from doing this show.
Yeah.
I would have probably never met before that.
Yeah. Definitely friends, definitely networking. I've gotten to interview some people that I greatly admire and respect. Plus, I get to hang out with my best friend all the time, which is the best thing. I mean, we get to do the show every week. It's a lot of fun to sit around and plan it out. It's a great experience. You know, if you haven't tried it and it's something you're thinking about doing, all I can say is definitely do it. It'll enhance your life in so many ways. It'll give you an avenue to get your voice out there and talk about the things that matter to you, whatever that might be. And you know, you'll make more friends from it, and you'll definitely learn things.
It is work, though.
It is a lot of work. Be prepared for that.
Well, I met a lot of great people. I enjoy talking to people. My wife likes it because I'm out of the house a little bit more. I don't know what's up with that, but I get to act like an idiot. The real idiot, the real Miguel gets to come out.
Sully?
I agree with these guys. Just getting to hang out with Steve on a regular basis. We always know there's that one time a week we're going to get to hang out and talk nerdy.
Same conversation.
You've already spoken, Gary.
It's the sex.
This is the reason I moved to Houston like 4 years ago, and this is the reason why I know anybody.
The only reason I got into podcasting because I was a big fan of Kevin Smith's Smonaco Network and Nerdist and whatnot. And I always wanted to try it. And me and Gary were coworkers, and I was like, hey, what is the chance of me showing up on the show? And I said, I can promise.
How long did I try to push you away from that?
I don't know. It was for a long time. And it's just really just to hang out with my friends and talk about cool stuff.
That same reason for these guys, to meet cool people. Brian said, I'm very shy, but I've got my confidence up, and I get to do my show with my best friends too.
You guys?
I have podcast.
Last word to you guys.
I have podcasts every week. I like to call it Free Therapy. But I think Mike was great. You know, the TV show was great. You know, it's a lot of fun, but podcast is something that it comes from our heart.
Free porn.
Together for a group photo before everybody starts? Yeah.
And that was the last audio clip that I had. I hope you guys enjoyed that podcasting panel clip. And, you know, we answered a few questions that people in the audience had. There was actually quite a bit of people. I'm pretty sure it was anywhere from 30 to 40 people just from just a glance. You know, I'm not, you know, a super mathematician. I can't just, you know numbers by looking at them. But there was quite a few people in there, a lot of good questions, and it was fun getting to talk to them. In fact, after the podcast panel, after we did the photos and everything, and we were getting ready to leave, actually Mike and Ming came up to me and said, hey, you know, keep up the good work. You know, you're doing a good job, and you sound great. And that really, you know, for those guys who do a podcast that thousands upon thousands of people listen to, it's awesome to get that kind of reassurance from them, even though I know they haven't listened to the podcast, and I don't know if they're listening now. Who knows? Maybe they are. Hey guys, thank you for listening. That's cool of you. But it's just nuts, man, and it's just a good feeling to get that reassurance from someone, and it just, I don't know. Being on that panel made me feel like I'm on the right track. You know, I'm amongst friends up there. I knew everyone on there, and it was really nice getting to actually put faces to these voices that I listen to all the time. I listen to these guys' podcasts because I like them. They are all really good podcasts, so you should definitely check them out. And if you didn't catch any of their websites or handles or whatever that they mentioned, you can always go to my website, and that's the Bry-Fy, well, not the, but it's Bry-Fy podcast.podbean.com. Go over to the Who I Listen To tab, and you'll see all the different podcasts that I actually listen to, and you can check them all out there, which is really awesome, really badass. But I know you guys don't really care about that too much. You just care about the free digital codes that I have for y'all. This one's going to be issue number 44 of Deadpool, and it's getting pretty serious, guys. After this, there's only one issue left, and then Deadpool's dead. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just what happens. Spoilers. It's only been out for forever. I don't know how long it's been out, but just go to marvel.com/redeem and enter the following code TMAUR97DLA2T. So be the first to enter that code, and then you get to enjoy Deadpool issue number 44, the pan-ultimate issue. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the Bry-Fy podcast this week. I know it was kind of weird, a little different format. Oh, and that reminds me, I need to let you guys know, the upcoming episodes and how I do my episodes now are going to be a lot different than what I've normally done. I recently got a new job, so I no longer work in downtown Houston, and the benefit of me working in downtown Houston was my job was literally less than a mile away from 2 comic book shops. So every time on my lunch break, I had the ability to just go down to either Third Planet or Nan's Comics and just pick up whatever comics I wanted or whatever I needed. I had a pool box there. It was great because I could pick them up on Wednesday, get all my updates, and then put out a new episode with current books that Thursday, Friday, But unfortunately for comics, but fortunately for me and my driving and the mileage on my car, I found a job closer to home down in Pearland. And unfortunately, comics-wise, that puts the closest comic book shop 12 to 13 miles away from me. And sadly, I'm probably going to have to leave my comic book shop at Third Planet, although they've been one of my favorites. They've been really good to me. I love the employees there. And so it looks like I'm going to be going to a different comic book shop now. So I got to get my pull box over there. That way I can get comics. But I won't be able to pick them up every Wednesday like I used to. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to have to wait a week before I talk about the comics. So it was kind of good that I had Comicpalooza now, because that fills this week where I need to wait until next week to talk about comics. So you have this week you've heard about my adventures at the con and whatnot, and just, surviving the floods or whatever. And then next week it'll be business as usual, except now I'll be talking about comic books a week late. So you know what? In the positive side, that gives you guys a little bit more time to read these comic books. That way they're not complete spoilers where you have no idea. Of course, you can check the internet or whatever. So you know what? You come in a little bit prepared, and you're welcome for that. But so yeah, that's how things are going to go moving forward. Hopefully I get some good guests lined up. I'm thinking about getting a lot of my podcast friends to come on. Having that community, it's great, and it's time to exploit that. Honestly, that's really what we're doing here. Oh, speaking of exploiting, you guys still have one digital code waiting for me. I'm pretty sure you guys are waiting on, and that's going to be to Deadpool issue number 45 or issue number 250 if you're counting. It's the final issue of Deadpool, The Death of Deadpool, written by Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn, drawn by Mike Hawthorne, who's like my favorite Deadpool artist, and Scott Koblish makes an appearance in there. And there's tons more people. There's so many stories in this comic. It's thick. It's like a freaking magazine. It's like thicker than a Game Informer. That's how much it is. This comic cost me $10 to buy it on New Comic Book Day on that Wednesday. It's tons of great stuff. And so you're getting a $10 comic book right here, right now, as soon as I give you this digital code, which I'm kind of stalling because I want to build up the tension. And plus, I'm trying to fill an hour here. But, whatever. I don't care if I do. So, go to marvel.com/redeem and enter the following code for a $10 issue, the final issue of Jerry Duggan Deadpool run. So, go to marvel.com/redeem. Be the first to enter this code. FMCW1NW4SN and 6. That's right. In 6. That's what I was trying to say. Not in and 6. I don't want you guys to get confused that there are 2 N's in there. It's 4SN6. Those are the last 4 digits of the code. But tons of great stuff in there. Hell, there's a Deadpool or a Thanos story in there, which is really awesome. At the end, they thank tons of people who basically did a RIP Deadpool shout out on Twitter. So there's tons of Twitter handles in there. Who knows? Maybe your Twitter handle made it onto the Rest in Peace Deadpool page. But that's really it, guys. That's all I have for this episode. Like I said, expect some changes coming in the near future. But honestly, that's not going to change too much for you guys. You're still going to get free digital codes each week. And you're going to get to hear about some comic books. So, I hope you guys had a blast. I had a blast. Comicpalooza was phenomenal. I had a great time. Hopefully I I get invited back next year. I got to go as press this year, which is amazing. I had a badass press badge. It had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it, and Kevin Eastman was there. You know him, right? Are you familiar with Kevin Eastman? He has something to do with the Ninja Turtles, which is a pretty badass thing. You know, he's a co-creator, and I think it was his art on the press badge. So that's bad freaking ass, right? But that's all that I have for you guys today on the Bry-Fy podcast. Please go check me out, bryfypodcast.podbean.com. You can always find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Bry-Fy podcast. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram where I do my most damage, and that's at Bry-Fy Podcast, Bryfy Podcast, for all the Bry-Fy podcast needs. Hopefully I can get some other cool stuff coming in the works. Like I said, I have some plans to bring some of my podcast brothers and sisters on, have a, just one slap happy good time. The podcast Secret Wars is what we're been referring to ourselves for a while now, so maybe we can get this going and going strong, guys. But thank you for sticking around in the podcast for so long, guys. We're almost did an hour, and I'm proud of you. Give yourself a hand. I'm clapping for you. This is the sound of one man clapping because I'm too lazy to copy, edit, paste, and make it sound like multiple men clapping. But that's all, and thank you so much. Love y'all, and I don't know. I was going to do the comical podcast outro. Keep on laughing, bitches. No, as always, Bry-Fy out.